ban for game number 3. LGD are up 2-0 so far. Could this be Edward Gaming's last play in the LPL this year? We will certainly find out. So far, Twitch respect band away from Imp.
That
EDG blue
signifies
side.
a Kog'Maw first pick. First
Yes.
and foremost, they don't need to ban the Twitch. They are on blue side. If they don't pick the Kog'Maw and they ban the Twitch, then they're making a big mistake. The question is, what will LGD then do in response?
Ooh, even the Yasuo getting a respect ban. It didn't do that great in lane for GODV, but still getting a lot of respect from the team fight of EDG.
It's just the wind wall, honestly.
Yeah.
And, I mean, LGD can definitely just pick the Braum and still have a wall, but it's not as impactful as having a wind wall you can just place down and then disregard that area because the wall stays, whereas Braum needs to be actively moving to block things.
Looks like the last ban again is going to be Koro's Olaf. Kog'Maw still open, so too is that Gragas. Koro maybe feeling the top hat, yeah. I mean, that's one way to get rid of...
Kog'Maw, you just eat him.
Exactly, but looks like the Kog'Maw is first picked right away. Imp will have that taken away from him. Gragas still open. Kalista! Oh no.
That's a big question mark. The bans were targeted from both of these teams. And of course, it does leave open Imp's Kalista, and that is a scary proposition. Not only that, it leaves open the Lulu that has been banned or picked away from GODV in all of these playoff games.
Yeah, Ryze and Gragas are still available too. So many strong picks available for LGD. How do they pull from that enormous pool of champions?
I think the best option for them is this. They don't need to pick Kalista because Kog'Maw has been locked in unless they want to flex that with Pawn. In which case they would do in this rotation and then they would lose their counter pick essentially.
Yeah.
But in saying that, Rek'Sai also available right now. Clearlove not looking to prioritize it just yet. May want to change his mind the last second, go for that Rek'Sai.
Yeah.
Just to deny it from TBQ, who has found a lot of success on that champion. Again, played 7 times, banned twice out of the 8 games.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be tanky disengage for EDG. Imp giving a shout out to Insec with a quick poppy hover. Swaps it back over to Kalista for that last second. I would be astonished if he were to take anything else. Imp, if he can play that well on Kog'Maw, imagine adding mobility and a rend to that damage.
Well, he can always default to the Vayne as well, but he prefers the Corki matchup if he's counter-picking the Vayne. But he does want this matchup in particular. Very good lane swapping still. LGD, they always preference that. TBQ picking right now. You would imagine Rek'Sai, in which case Acorn's the only remaining member, and Gnar is still available for him. Take that away from Koro. No, he's got Maokai. Pick Gnar anyway. Or Vi, you know, because why not?
This is awesome. We saw LGD hovering it, I think, in game number 1 for their first pick, but they decided not to go with it. And we're getting a full disengage comp out of EDG as they look at their supports. They've got Gragas. Janna is still available. They're going to need to do everything they possibly can to keep Imp away from their team as they look for these next 2 picks.
That is such an aggressive decision, though, from TBQ.
Yeah.
He does love aggressive champions, and Vi is just that instant, reliable engage. We'll call it reliable. Take that with a grain of salt, as you don't know what's going to be in front of you after you are in the backlines on a Kog'Maw. In saying that, LGD are going to be running dive. They've got the Lulu to supplement that, to augment their strength and survivability behind the dive. And because there is no way to avoid the Vi ultimate, there's no way to avoid the knock-up. Diana can then hit spells. That's always worth considering. But Viktor also being locked in by Pawn. That's his 2nd time this split.
Yeah, not very big on the Viktor. Again, he's still an excellent Viktor player, so we'll see how he performs. Looks like it's going to be Acorn taking Lulu in the top lane as GODV, might be going back to the Diana for that last pick. I swear the counter counted down to 0. Didn't it count down to 0?
No, it counted to 10.
Oh, that's interesting. Well,
there's a 0 in it.
Yeah, well, there is a 0 in that, but it is going to be the Diana locked in for LGD. and LGD going full-on aggression with this.
And this is one of the cool picks about LGD, in that they can flex the Lulu as well. So they do pick the Diana, they flex the Lulu to that top lane, and it's based off what their draft requires. They don't have Flame, because Acorn can actually flex the Lulu as well. One of the big strengths of this player in the top lane. They give GODV the dive that they're looking for to complement the Vi that they already had in their team. They've got Kalista and Braum. Kalista can throw Braum in whether he likes it or not, basically, and says, well, you're diving now, so go. Braum very good at disengaging. Lulu very good at disengaging. So it's a mixture. It's a mixed bag of what their team composition is looking to do.
Yeah.
But if they can't get onto the Kog'Maw, which very smartly picked away from them for Deft, then it's a very risky proposition.
Yeah, it certainly is. Coaches shake hands, having a bit of a laugh as we get into game number 3 between EDG and LGD. This could be the last set for EDG in their run for the playoffs. Of course, even if they do lose, they will get a chance to play in that 3rd, 4th place match for those World Circuit points. But we're running through the rosters right now. You already saw the top and jungle. Here are the mid laners, Pawn and GODV.
Diana into the Viktor again. Pawn's 2nd time playing that champion, but GODV no slouch. He used to be a Diana main when he first joined the LPL. As we move towards our bot lane, Imp smiling in the photo, serious in real life right now.
We haven't seen a smile on him yet today, but if he ends up taking this next game, that might change.
Yeah, and he's got the Kalista. He had a very successful Kalista game earlier in his last games. I believe it was against LGD Gaming, when he dismantled them almost single-handedly. They surrendered at 22 minutes. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, we'll see if it's going to be a quick game this time around as we're getting onto the Rift. Welcome back to the Rift, everyone. We're getting into game number 3 right now of our first set in the semifinals. That's right. It's Edward Gaming versus LGD, and currently LGD are up 2-0. This could be the win that propels them into the finals.
And of course, EDG very good at taking Game 5 games, taking it to Game 5 and really bringing it to LGD. They've got the makings to do so with this team comp right now. Feels much more standard and to their style. So very good to see that from EDG. We'll see how they adjust though, because this LGD side, they don't look like slowing down anytime soon. They had the practice coming into this day, to be fair. They played 2 best-of-5s.
Yeah.
They hit the ground sprinting. Raised some questions about EDG's warming up to this. They had a break.
Yes.
But from what we've seen so far, they've still got it.
You're exactly right. LGD have hit the ground running, and they have not stopped to breathe since. EDG, on the other hand, a bit slow to start in this set. Defensive lineups coming out from just about everyone. Wards all across the river. Doesn't look like LGD are going to spot the lane swap from EDG as Kog'Maw and Janna head to the top side of the map, whereas Imp and PYL stick on the bottom, looking like they might start off with a Gromp camp.
Yeah, the Kog'Maw looking to do the lane swap, of course. You don't want to be into a Kalista lane ever, really, in your entire life. Does want to avoid that one, and they are going to be upside down, which isn't a bad thing for LGD by any means. They love lane swaps. They relish in the fact. And GODV is one of the most unique laners on Diana that I've ever watched, and it's actually really fantastic because he pushes the minions under the turret and forces, in this case, Pawn, to spend so much time actually trying to last hit that he can't harass, and it unlocks GODV. This is his favorite time of day, when he can be unlocked to do Raptors, or he can just gank.
Yeah, the first level 2 is picked up by Pawn in the mid lane as GODV looks to answer back with one of his own. Gets a nice quick crescent slash across to continue shoving forward as Koro in the bottom lane looks to catch some CS, but Acorn commits to the double jungle.
Yeah, Lulu actually not that bad at double jungling. Has a lot of damage early, has that picks and the shield there also, and you can kite buffs around with your glitter lance. So all things considered, not actually that bad of a double jungler. But of course Maokai, as we are currently seeing, getting that solo experience, sitting in his lane. Risky, but effective right now, as they don't really have that great of a dive. He's just timing his backs.
Yeah.
without knowing where they are. And it is around 3 minutes 10 when you double jungle that things start to happen.
That is why we see him pulling back right now. TBQ getting spoon-fed camp after camp by the double jungle and even the help from PYL as they steal away the Raptor. GODV with a recall, opts for a second Doran's ring, and just decides to burn his teleport to get back in. Even Clearlove on the top side of the map is going to spot out that Acorn isn't showing himself. That means that Koro on the other side is going to have to play safe. He's already got a ward.
Yeah, so LGD pushing around as expected, looking for Koro because he has been laning.
Ooh, they could catch him.
That was close.
TBQ, nary a pixel is what kept Koro alive from that knockup and eventual CC chain from the Braum. But he gets out with his life, and everyone continues farming.
He does get out. And all things considered here, LGD actually spike a little bit earlier than this EDG side in this particular game. They've got the Lulu for the strength, and Kalista always translated to be that 2-item power spike champion. You want the Runans and either the Bloodthirster or the Blade of the Ruined King before you hit your stride as a champion and can start kiting around teamfights. Now, Maokai is a great pick in the Kalista, to be fair, because it's guaranteed to engage, but so is Vi into Kog'Maw. So in terms of that relative strength, it exists on both of the teams, but spike timings, Deft is about 3 items, Imp is about 2.
Keep an eye on those spikes as LGD take advantage of EDG's passive early game and secure the first dragon 4 minutes and 48 seconds in. No response from EDG. They look like they might try to answer by taking the top tier 1, but Acorn's already on his way to keep it alive.
Yeah, Acorn had enough for that second Doran's ring. They get the first dragon really early, which is great for them. And now they look to actually get the standard lanes. No vision on where the Lulu has been for quite a while. You would imagine TBQ on this Vi will then go top as well and try and hold his hand through some of the pressure that is about to be placed down by Deft and Meiko, whether Acorn likes it or not.
Yeah, and that's something that's been working really well for LGD over the course of this set. TBQ and Acorn have had exceptional synergy, ganking top lane, roaming mid lane. The two of them really have been a great tag team, and normally we say that of EDG, that it's Clearlove and Pawn, or Clearlove and Poro, but TBQ and Acorn making the move during the early game.
Yeah, they really have been making it happen. TBQ stepping up in this series. Clearlove just didn't have the answer. They're diving.
Oh yeah, PYL's already tanking the turret. He's going to be snared down. This could be first blood, but he gets out alive. Imp nets the first blood.
Close from Koro. He tried to flash twisted advance to ensure the Braum was staying under the tower and tanking it. But he uses his own flash, the Unbreakable, to reduce some damage. And the heal used by Imp to ensure that his support stays alive. Now the first blood goes to Imp on this Kalista.
Yeah, even the teleport from Acorn just to make sure he was safe. That's going to get TBQ some alone time with the minions, but Meiko and Deft are there to ruin the party. Koro once again finds Imp with the twisted advance, but Kalista nice and safe. Keeps himself clear while TBQ keeps the wave prepared for Ace.
He's very due for a recall here, Imp. Or Meiko will actually, Koro, sorry, will actually start to find some strength in the 1v1. Has a lot of money available to him, but I don't think he'll look to lane swap until an objective falls, or maybe they want to avoid the 2v2 of Deft and Meiko because they're recalling right now. Let's see what they want to do.
Yeah, looks like they do finish up the phage component for Deft as he heads down to the bottom lane. We haven't quite seen Koro just yet. He, in fact, does not have teleport, so...
He's going to recall now. He's going to go top lane. And Acorn is actually just recalling to go back top lane, I would imagine.
Yeah, just to make sure that he's
Health Crystal Ward pot.
Keeping up. So, now that we've got that gank out of the way and we're starting to see some standard lanes, what can we expect for the next few minutes? You know, Imp, he's got now his Bilgewater and a dagger to the phage of Deft.
So mid lane that we're looking at now is going to be very standard, just farm heavy, so no real action will come from it unless GODV catches Pawn, looking in another direction perhaps and just side swipes him. This bottom lane though, as you mentioned, there is the dagger with the Cutlass for Imp. He is in a fantastic position in terms of strength. Isn't it a completed item? Whereas Kog'Maw, having just the phage, gets some added mobility, has the range advantage. It comes down to execution though, because if PYL can hit a Q or an auto attack and actually start to proc that passive, then Imp can be aggressive. If he can't actually do that, can't be aggressive, then Deft will never really take damage because he's got Meiko on this Janna to boot. But the aggression well and truly in favor of LGD, of this Kalista and Braum. But we'll see how they can put it into effect, or if Deft can actually 1v2 the lane essentially.
Yeah, TBQ's actually on this bottom side of the map as well. He is level 6. Imp tries to bait it out. Here comes TBQ. They could look for it. Meiko dodges the damage, but they're focusing on the Deft. He's taking so much. It's not enough to keep him alive. TBQ nets the kill, but Clearlove locks him down long enough to trade 1-for-1, and the minion wave is clear.
They do trade 1-for-1, but they still have Deft dead. This is why the Vi has been picked since the very beginning of draft phase, and that is what TBQ is going to continue to do throughout the rest of this game. Kill the Kog'Maw. Do not let the Kog'Maw snowball. So the fact that Meiko got a kill, perfectly fine. The fact that TBQ got a kill, still really, really good for LGD and bad for EDG. Because Kog'Maw, it's very difficult to kill a tanky Vi who has the kills.
Yeah, should be a little bit tricky. Smite being used to try clearing the wave, and Imp, he's looking for the turret, but just can't quite find it as Meiko and Clearlove keep it standing. Dragon's up now in a minute or so, but LGD still running away with the momentum in this set. Imp 1-0-1, and TBQ all over the map.
And all things considered, Imp was still farming when Deft was dead as well.
Yeah.
So the gold distribution evenly spread here between all of the members of LGD, whereas Meiko, the sole beneficiary of the money in that bottom lane, now has a sidestone, which is great.
Yeah, this is exactly what happened in game number 2. The gold was on GODV in game number 2 versus Meiko, who got it with his Ignite.
There's a Braum Q as well, I think, as well. So
yeah,
like, it's getting the kill. They do get the kill at the very least, which is fantastic because it removes a lot of control. That was close.
It certainly was, but GODV doesn't secure it. Pawn is able to get his own blue buff in time. Both of those mid laners do now have it. Oh, and it just wore off of GODV. So never mind.
Timing-wise, Pawn's going to have control of this lane a little bit more so now, but he doesn't really. He's stuck under his turret. He has amazing wave clear, but if he pushes outside of the safety zone that is going to be his turret, then GODV can just destroy. He can chunk him out very easily. And you can see the way GODV's actually been playing the lane, standard GODV style, push and disappear, push and disappear. And at the moment he's in push phase, he's about to disappear, and you never know where. That's the strength of what he's actually doing right now, is the wards are deep. They spot Pawn every single time, and he can move appropriately. He can go top lane. He can go to the Raptors. Right now, it's top.
Yeah, it looks like he is headed towards the top lane. Koro smells that something is amiss. Will try to recall in the safety of his Tri-Brush, but we'll see if he can get out with his life. Imp finally going to clear the first turret of the game. Turret secured. Nice 200 gold. Dragon has spawned, and TBQ, with his unstoppable force prepared, is already on that side of the map.
Is Vi now Malphite?
I consider it an unstoppable force. A single target.
True. A single target unstoppable force. As Vi fight is starting the Dragon. It is going to be relatively uncontested here. Meiko might get vision of it. They might see it being done. Actually, resets himself.
And EDG are going to let this go. That's Dragon number 2 going to LGD. And they're starting to run away with this set. EDG are playing it so patiently, so passively. It's slightly concerning.
So they've still got the scaling team. They keep that in mind.
Yes.
They've got the Kog'Maw Viktor. They can blow people up at any stage of the game. They're just not taking unnecessary risks.
Yes.
They're being as aptly risky as possible, trying to win lanes, but not going too far out of their way to do anything in the lanes. They just want to get items. They want to get going. Pawn putting a lot of his emphasis on upgrading his Hex Core as well. And they're still waiting on the Trinity Force for the Kog'Maw, so they can't fight. Not yet.
Not yet. Well, we'll see if they will be able to fight soon. Again, you mentioned it's a 2-item spike for Imp, a 3-item spike for Deft. So it is still a few minutes away before he can take anything.
I guess the contrast to that is Viktor is a 1-item spike, basically.
Yeah.
At level 1, he's really strong. At level 18, he's really strong. It doesn't really matter what his items are, because Viktor is just exceptionally strong. It's a very well-rounded decision and choice of champion here for Pawn. In response, though, GODV had to go for that assassin option to cement the team comp as actually being a composition, because with just the Vi, their dive is lacking. But now they've got the Diana, the Vi, and the Kalista able to throw in Braum. So still definitely a strong comp.
GODV looking for action in the mid lane. Doesn't quite find it. Teleport being used. Pawn forced to flash away. He drops the Chaos Storm. GODV goes low as 4 members of EDG, the gank squad, shows up and answer with a kill.
Yeah, Acorn teleporting. Koro not actually. So finding a very nice numbers advantage to be there on time. They do lose another turret though. Imp is getting all of the money in this game for LGD, but they do get a pick. They can translate this into damage. The tower not as likely.
Yeah, they're trying to break it down, but Acorn with a pretty solid amount of wave clear keeps it standing for now. Here comes Imp, charging his way down the river to group up with the rest of his team. Pawn with no flashes, got to play it safe. He manages to catch up to Meiko. They could be looking for it. Flash is used. Monsoon not going to make it in time. Meiko goes down. The cast doesn't keep him standing. TBQ dashes back.
And that's a lot of vision control from EDG, but none of it in the river, and they overstayed their welcome. Janna using her shield to hit the turret once, and then to walk out of the turret by herself. No reason to be there, but he goes down for that. Vi having to use the ultimate, uses the flash over the tornado as well, and they secure the pick. A lot used for that pick, so in terms of... GODV actually, the red buff just revealed Clearlove being there, because it went over to him.
It did.
So you can see GODV knows, throws the crescents. Yeah. That was really smart from GODV. He started the red buff and was like, well, I'm not going to continue this. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
And it went over to Clearlove. If someone's in that bush.
I wonder who. But, again, LGD up 1 kill and 1 turret to the 2 Dragons of 0 of EDG. They did finally take a proactive play and shut GODV down in the mid lane, but he has now completed his Nashor's Tooth. And as you mentioned, Imp is getting all the time and creeps in the world to farm that Kalista up. He's already up 15 CS over Deft. And it's starting to look like a pretty scary Kalista.
So he's up 15 CS, he's up a kill, and he's also been given the solo gold for 2 of the turrets in top and bottom respectively.
Yeah.
He has been given all of the money for LGD right now.
Wow. That's a 1,200 gold lead.
Exactly. You can see the difference between them is reflected even much more in the fact that he got solo kills on the turrets. Yeah. That is the biggest difference between them. The kill helps a massive amount, and this Kalista is going to spike at that 2-item spike well before Deft is going to be very relevant. He does have a Trinity Force. He hurts right now. He hurts a ridiculous amount right now. Not really comparable once Imp actually gets the next item, but immediately at this stage in the game, EDG can fight.
Yeah. Well, Dragon's going to be up in 2 minutes. We'll see if they can test it. As GODV now completes a Mercury Treads off of his recall, and Pawn looks for some boots of his own. Deft getting tagged by Meiko. Clearlove waiting in the wings, trying to see if he can catch PYL just a bit overextended. You know, we saw the gold a little bit earlier. The only member on EDG that has a gold lead over their lane opponent is Koro.
Yeah, and Koro is really big, to be fair, right now. He's actually the most important member of this EDG side. Deft and Pawn need to play their part, but that for the most part is going to be kiting back.
Yeah.
They're running a Gragas, Janna, Viktor, Kog'Maw comp, so they're trying to protect Deft and then assassinate people who get on top of Deft. Koro needs to be in the front line. He's the only really, really important member that needs to make sure that Imp cannot go off in fights. And the fact that he is ahead is the most important aspect for EDG. So very thankful of that fact. And we'll see if he can translate that into anything further, as Lulu's still doing well in farm. The only real difference is that kill, but a Rod of Age is done as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a tanky Acorn. A tough nut to crack. But yeah, I actually do want to talk a little bit about the dichotomy between the two. That you will have EDG kiting back, trying to keep Deft alive. But there's a Vi and a Diana getting into that back line. It creates a very real situation where Koro ends up splitting too far from his team, trying to keep Imp occupied.
Very much so, and of course, as you mentioned, Acorn is playing that Lulu, so he's very good at peeling himself. Braum capable of peeling, but will most likely be thrown in by Imp or pull back from Imp to say, well, you need to protect me now, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation. So in terms of these two team fights to compare and contrast, it will be heavily on execution and how they actually implement the fight. If they can get Deft caught and they don't get knocked away by Janna and Gragas as an example, and they can actually kill Deft, then nothing else really matters for LGD, because that's the important member down. Whereas EDG need to kill Imp, they need to kill GODV, they need to kill TBQ to ensure that people are safe, and then start to win the fights.
Ooh, Dragon has spawned, and EDG, somehow hearing you through time and space, Rusty, have decided to group up and look for a fight. As 5 members, they're prepared around the pit. Acorn will find some time to split push. He's shoving as hard as he can, so could get some damage onto the tier 2. Finally, Koro's heading over to deal with that shove. And LGD managing to appropriately juggle the waves, don't sacrifice anything.
And you know, we were mentioning how important Koro is. If Acorn can keep him split pushing in the top lane, he has to teleport in, potentially late cancel the teleport even. It starts to look really bad for EDG because he needs to be in that front line. And if he's not there, then LGD can do exactly this. They know he's top lane right now. They're just going to go straight for it. The teleports.
Double teleports initiated by both of the top laners. Acorn grouped up. No Righteous Glory just yet for Koro. They're onto the Dragon. It is secured by the Ren from LGD. That's number 3. TBQ gets knocked out of his Vault Breaker charge. Doesn't quite find a target. And EDG are going to disengage appropriately.
And they don't even need to fight right now, LGD. They've got GODV split pushing in the bottom lane. He has his teleport available. Acorn does not have his anymore, so he needs to group.
Oh man, they're looking for the tier 1, but oh, they can't quite find it. TBQ gets locked down. He targets Pawn, but splits too far from his team. QL gets pulled away. Imp's still alive in the back. He's the primary guy. GODV joins in. He tries to find a kill, but can't quite in time. Meiko with a great Monsoon disengages. TBQ ends up going down to Pawn. And LGD take the turret and find a kill.
It took a very long time for them to get TBQ to go down. And that is the biggest problem that EDG are facing right now, is he's a monster of a Vi, and he needs to be addressed first. So Imp's getting free hits off. GODV was in the backline, and he's still pretty much full health. That is a dangerous predicament to consider once they actually start to finish some more items. Dino only having the Nash's Tooth, and Kalista only having the makings of that Runan's Hurricane. Once they're completed, that team fight, if that was to happen again now, with those items completed, LGD had that in the bag.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that wasn't quite the case this time around, and EDG keep themselves in the game. They take that mid-tier 1, and they're actually going to even it up in terms of overall gold. LGD, however, are on track for a 33-minute Dragon 5. That is a very early Dragon 5, and EDG, they could find themselves very well zoned out of the finals by LGD if they drop those next Dragons.
That was a full Abyssal Scepter buy as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's just got some items. He's online. This Viktor is massive. He actually prioritized upgrading that Hex Core as well. He went for Lucidity Boots to supplement the lack there of cooldown reduction that he otherwise would have had. So smart itemization choices here from Pawn. He's looking at efficiency. And now he's looking to be relatively tanky because it's all about that keyword of zoning and kiting. And between Pawn, between Clearlove, and between Meiko, they have an abundance of zone.
Yeah. They were able to kite TBQ out in that last fight, as TBQ did go for Pawn and then instantly flash away before getting shredded by Deft and Pawn together. Ooh, looks like they get tagged a bit by PYL. Not quite able to pick off any kills or net any rewards from it. Acorn split on the other side of the map, doesn't have his teleport available.
Hurricane's completed as well. Imp is big right now. He needs to be focused first from EDG. If they're looking to make a pick in this game, it starts with Imp, and it has to be Pawn.
Yeah, here comes GODV. He dashes forward, manages to find Pawn. The knockup drops him out. He's getting destroyed. Knockup, the poor guy can't settle down. He's finally going to be dropped by LGD. They pick up a kill. Will they be able to take anything else?
Are they going to pull an EDG?
Again, for the 3rd time in the series?
That would be really risky. I doubt it. They're against the Kog'Maw still.
Ooh, Deft does some serious damage.
They're going to do it.
They're trying. Imp is playing so well right now. Currently 2-0-1.
Smartly, though.
Yeah, they decide not to.
In saying that, we were just talking about Imp's got his Hurricane. It's going to be on the back of Pawn to make those picks. The exact opposite just happened as Deft.
Oh, he could be caught out. Oh, man. Flirting with danger there. He's going to shove forward, looking for the tier 2. Despite not having a mid laner, they're continuing to pressure forward. PYL with a potential flank lets Koro squeak by. They managed to keep the tier 2 standing.
The TVQ was too low to actually go in on Deft there. He would have gone down for his troubles. They didn't have vision of where Imp was, which was the big factor as to why they didn't commit to taking that turret down. But another pick in favor of LGD. They take down Pawn. We're back to standard again, but that is still momentum shifting in LGD's favor as they've now got control in terms of vision around the Baron area. Dragon is their focal point, though. They want to win this game through Dragon.
Yeah, 2 minutes until that next one comes up. Imp hops the wall, dodges the damage. Pawn never stood a chance.
That's gross.
Oh my.
Imp's massive. They're now looking at the Baron. They're in fact starting it.
Again. Oh my god, Koro's on the other
Take
side of the map.
scuttle.
He doesn't have a teleport. They're just going to try shredding through as 4 members.
It's going low.
Yeah, here comes GODV. He's trying to zone it out from the far side. Can they be able to secure it in time? They do so much Ren damage. They're going to be able to secure the Baron.
This is Pawn getting caught twice in a row right now. Imp has just capitalized on this entire game. Single-handedly found them a Baron. Single-handedly we got them the pick in the middle lane prior to that, which gave them control for the second one for the Baron. This is all Imp. Now Dragon number 4 is in 48 seconds. They've got the Baron to push out side waves faster. They're a lot more efficient in their map movements right now. The LGD are in a point of strength, absolute strength, where the answer is not really there from EDG. They're still scaling.
Yeah, EDG right now just an echo of what we've seen over the course of the LPL. This is not a team that we are familiar with. And so far, if they continue playing like this, LGD look to take game number 3 in a 3-0 sweep, getting revenge for last split's playoff finals. This is incredible. LGD are playing out of their mind. Pawn has respawned with the Baron buff. They prep the side waves, secure the Scuttle Crab. Dragon is up in 5 seconds. Clearlove just recalled. No chance of a smite steal.
And we were talking about efficiency and how the Baron's going to optimize that. Well, that's what is happening now. Scuttle to Dragon immediately. EDG need to at least look for a potential steal, but PYL is zoning them away from it right now. It actually almost stole it. I will not lie. 74 health.
Yeah.
They get Dragon 4, though.
Yeah, that's Dragon 4 to LGD. They've got Baron buff right now. They're still going to have it for about 2.5 minutes. And they're going to put a lot of pressure onto EDG with this set. They've already dropped most of the outer turrets, 1 remaining. Imp actually with a recall goes for his Quicksilver second and is going to catch up with GODV in the top lane.
Yeah, so we're waiting on that last whisper from Imp from the looks of it. The only real remaining item that he could ever want to take down everybody. This Vi is not looking like dying anytime soon. Has the Lulu to augment that strength. And GODV has the Zhonya's Hourglass completed. So their diving is pretty much at maximum level. And that is really bad for Deft. Has his Trinity Force. Has a Janna and a Gragas. Has a Maokai. Like, he's really good in terms of zone control from EDG. Yeah. If they can get on you, you're dead.
The next tier 2 turret is going to fall. Mid-tier 1 is still standing for now, but LGD look to make quick work of that as they swing back towards the mid lane. With another wave building on the bottom side of the map, LGD are in complete control of this game, being allowed to play the macro style that they know and love. EDG try to keep it standing. Here's GODV from the side, but he decides not to commit to it in the tier 1 falls.
And we call EDG the Baron team, but the strengths of LGD actually having the Baron is that their macro capabilities exponentially just increase. They go through the roof, and it's so difficult to deal with as Imp's ulted.
Oh, he throws PYL in, catches 3, the stun finds Clearlove, but Imp is dissuaded from pursuing further. Koro tries to engage, but he doesn't have any backup. Deft is forced to run away from the 4 members. They catch Koro out of position. He tries to keep himself standing. He will go down to TBQ while GODV distracts from the side. He doesn't get a kill, but he buys enough time for LGD to pick off Koro.
Pawn goes really low in the 1v1. They put a lot of pressure down onto GODV and he just flashes out to safety. This Diana is very far ahead in comparison to the Viktor. Imp is like, I'm not even going to begin to compare him compared to Deft. He's a monster. And LGD do not look like slowing down right now. They got a Baron, and they took a lot from that Baron.
Yeah, they managed to take down 2 turrets so far in addition to a kill. They did finally run out of that Baron buff, so what you're seeing currently is a visual bug, but they have got complete control over this game, total momentum with this set. And the scary thing that I just realized is Baron and Dragon were taken within a minute of each other. They're going to come up at the same time, and EDG are going to have to make a choice.
A very good point to make. And of course, LGD have the same choice to make, because it's not always as simple as do we take Dragon 5. They could bait Dragon 5 to take the Baron.
Exactly.
It's only going to be the first Dragon for EDG also, so they don't lose anything by focusing a lot of their efforts around the Baron area and then translating that to an immediate Dragon. So there's a lot of possibilities here for LGD. We look at their win conditions. They have so many.
Yes.
Team fighting, picks, vision control, siege.
Koro gets caught out once again, but this time Imp decides to let him go. He says, go back to your friends. Tell them what you have seen.
Don't know if he said that. It was a sly smile.
Yeah, we'll give that.
It's the fact that he's using his ultimate, though, so willingly, sees someone, and just presses R.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to kill that person. PYL, go. Get him. They may not die this time, but that has found success now. It's 3-0-2, this Imp. This Kalista has got Berserker Greaves with Alacrity Boots. He's in a comfortable position. We'll be kiting everywhere.
Yeah, such a scary position. Baron's now going to be up in 2 minutes. No sign of the Dragon just yet, but I'm sure it is going to be soon. Things are looking awful scary for EDG. They're down about 8,000 gold in game number 3. They're down 0-2 in this set. They're down in game number 3. There's the Dragon, 30 seconds apart.
And this is super dangerous because EDG have spent most of their past 2 to 3 minutes in their base or near their turrets. They haven't had a chance to reach out their wings and actually feel for ward placement, get some control. They've got it near the Dragon area. They've got one in the pit. They've got a pink ward. But look at Baron. There's no wards there. They don't need wards there, LGD. They know EDG don't have any. And their wards are just deep. They place them deep. They know they're safe near the pit. And it's going to spawn before Dragon.
Yeah, this is a scary, scary position for EDG. There's the last whisper from Imp. Blade of the Ruined King has now been finished for Deft. And you've got to wonder, what can EDG do?
They need to fight. They don't have a choice. If this 5th Dragon gets taken, then LGD can just continue to play the game they just were and make picks, but to a greater degree of success. So LGD, they've got the control now. It's in their hands. It's their game to lose. But EDG can definitely still fight. It just comes down to execution.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, because you look at their team comp, their engage isn't that ideal because it's more disengaged. It's more zone control. And unless it's a Maokai, which is again why Koro is so important in this game, then it's not necessarily reliable.
Baron just now spawns, and Deft in the area ventures forward with some assistance from Clearlove. They're going to get some wards over there, and LGD are forced to respond. You can see the gold on your screen. A 4,000 gold lead for Imp alone.
That's good for EDG. They got the Scuttle Crab, so even if they don't have vision, they know if it's being done. LGD have got a flank, and now the Dragon is up immediately. They are going to go there straight away.
LGD making a fast track to head towards it. It's all up to Clearlove. Level 14 to 14. LGD try to bait it out. Looking for a pick, but EDG are grouped as 5. This could be the fight that defines this series.
And they have started it up.
Imp takes a bit of poke, however. Acorn in the front line with PYL. Down to about half health. Koro dives in. Clearlove's in the pit, but Imp is untouched in the back. Dragon has been pulled away. PYL gets tossed in. Imp taking so much damage. He's burst low, but he's still alive. PYL on the back. Imp cleanses, flashes out. TBQ diving. PYL goes down, but Imp is still cleaning up the team. It's another kill from GODV. He's just shredding through EDG. They could not pick their target.
Oh no.
Pawn gets the outplay, but it's 2 versus 3 right now, and LGD look to take the 5th Dragon.
And Pawn and Clearlove with flashing red health bars, they have to leave the Dragon area. The teleport to flank Pawn.
No.
He's got this.
I don't know that he sees it.
The ward.
It's Dragon 5.
Dead.
He dashes forward. Pawn has been removed. GODV looks to start the Baron with 5 Dragons, and another Baron. LGD could win this.
And this team comp again, LG, they protected Imp. They got the Lulu ultimate, the wild growth. He used his QSS to get to safety. They get Dragon number 5. They get the Baron. And now they are so far ahead of EDG.
Yeah. It's a 10,000 gold lead, 33 minutes into the game. This is LGD. They are making a case for the playoffs. They are making a case for finals. This is beyond belief.
This is exactly what we're looking at. LGD look like a refined team right now, and it's all on the back of Imp. He hasn't even died in this game. The only person besides Clearlove who hasn't actually died. He is having a stellar performance in this series, but the game is not over yet. They still need to break the base, the most important aspect of this game, and there are still outer turrets remaining for EDG.
With 5 dragons and a Baron for the next 3 minutes, EDG have to hold out. LGD are giving a bit of a reprieve for now as they prep their waves in the side lanes, but Acorn will teleport to join up with the rest of his team. This tier 2 looks to be the next target.
This is the LGD special. They've got the split push going in the top lane. They made sure the wave was pushing, and then they rotate immediately. They work around their strengths as a 5-man roster. GODV's got the flank covered. They're going to go straight from mid to top, and then they're going to keep mid pushing because they have Baron and they have Dragon 5 right now. They're in a point of power. Very hard for EDG to match.
Yeah. LGD are in complete control of the objectives. Deft tries to get some poke on the TBQ, but he is so tanky. Poke comes across.
All it takes is GODV and TBQ to get onto Deft and he will die. They have so much power.
He was looking for it right there with the Vault Breaker, but didn't quite find it. Imp splitting on the top lane will prep another wave. Deft getting a bit too far forward. Oh man, that Kog'Maw's got me scared.
That's the problem, is he has to be too far ahead because that's his team composition protecting him. And he's now against the side that can blow him up when he has to be at the front.
Ooh, TBQ is looking for a juicy target. Can't quite make up his mind as slowly but surely those inhibitor turrets are being poked down by LGD. Sooner or later, one of them is going to break. As Deft gets some good poke out, but he's got Meiko and Clearlove to back him up.
They're just pushing their luck, EDG. They're trying to push them out, and it's actually working for them. As the Dragon's still there, but the Baron is starting to run out as well. Things looking... Actually, the Dragon's gone now as well.
Dragon's worn off. Baron is only going to be up for about another 20 seconds or so. And they only managed to break one tier 2. EDG managed to hold.
They've done exceptionally well to hold this onslaught that LGD are putting in place. They're running them around. They're trying to find their way in, but holding firm, holding steady this EDG side. They've still got fight left in them. They haven't given up just yet.
Most certainly. And, you know, throughout this series, that's been the question. In this game particularly, EDG, they've been looking so passive. It doesn't look like EDG playing at all, but now we're seeing them defend. Now we're seeing them wait. They are still here.
It's just a controlled style. It's not that pressure cooker that we're used to seeing of EDG, where they apply it at very apt times and consistently to force errors. They use those forced errors to find leads. They can still do that, and they have been, just to a lesser extent. And this is because they're against a macro-oriented side like LGD, who spend most of their time doing exactly that and keeping the pressure on in other areas where they're not. It's almost like a deceive style of play. And it has kind of put EDG on the back foot here. They're down 13K.
Yeah, it's a scary position. Kog'Maw finally gets his last whisper. We have reached a late game scenario for Deft on with his Rabadons on top of the Abyssal. These guys will do damage if they get the chance. But GODV and TBQ look to eliminate them before they can. Acorn sets up a split push on the last tier 2 while Imp is on the other side of the map. EDG look to respond appropriately.
The big difference now is going to be, you say that Kog'Maw's reached that late game stage, and I completely agree because he's at his 3 items. But if you compare him to Imp,
he's about 5,000 gold behind.
Late game stage is very relative to your opponent, I suppose, in that respect. So he's still at mid game compared to Imp's late game, if we want to give the comparison. And though he's still going to be doing an exceptional amount of damage, very difficult to kill those diving members of LGD.
Yeah.
Really risky spot right now. Touch and go.
Dragon's going to be up in about 30 seconds. Barrett a minute and a half after. In keeping the wave pressured up for now. As you can see, LGD are set to fight around those objectives. They've got vision control over the Dragon. GODV steals away yet another blue buff. They could look for Dragon 5 once again. EDG need at least one Dragon. That would do so much for their damage.
It certainly would.
Yeah, they look to fight for this one. GODV, he's actually waiting in base right now with Home Guard Teleport.
This is a case of needing to fight as well, not just looking to fight. It is Dragon 5 all over again. Don't be fooled, it's not Dragon 6. The scoreboard lies. If they can get this, LGD, if there's a team fight around this and they get it.
And here comes GODV with the Home Guard Teleport. He comes in from the side. Koro dashes in, but GODV can't find his target just yet. Deft in the back. Koro buying some time. He's looking for Imp. GODV trying to find someone, but it's too little too late. Imp in the back is still alive. TBQ dives onto Deft. He's not quite able to bring him out. Deft is still alive. He drops TBQ. Here's GODV.
Oh my
Deft
God.
gets destroyed by GODV. Imp kites forward. Nets a triple kill as it's all said and done. He's going to look for the Quadra. Meiko goes down. Pawn, the sole man left alive. He's going to try to keep his team in this game.
Acorn and GODV are going to do the Dragon together whilst Imp pushes down the lane. They've got a teleport for this Lulu. We're about to see a 1 versus 1, you would imagine, between Pawn and Imp. He's going to try and desperately defend, and there is 20 seconds remaining on every member of EDG. Imp, yet again, this guy is so big right now.
Yeah.
He is single-handedly almost winning them this entire series, and he gets a quadra kill in that fight.
An absolute terror. Pawn tries to predict Imp's movement to the bottom side, but calls it incorrectly. He's going to lose the mid inhibitor and might just lose the top one as well. Dragon 5 up for LGD. You may not see the particles of it, but they certainly do the damage, and you can see Koro burning with all of that true damage. He might be trying to catch PYL, but with Imp available, yeah, this is a scary position. Baron has just spawned. You're exactly right.
Baron has been up for a while, but they wanted to get that inhibitor because everybody was dead. Take the free objectives before you take the contested objective of this Baron. And now EDG are alive. They're going to look to contest this one again. They have to.
They're grouped as 5.
They're going
Koro
in.
Goes in. He finds GODV from the side. Baron has been secured, but it's Dragon 5 against Not. Clearlove knocks out of the fight. Koro goes down. TBQ's in the back onto Pawn this time. PYL follows him up. It's a bouncy castle. Great disengage, but it's not enough. Deft is the last one left alive. This is the ace for EDG. No, Clearlove's still up, but they're rushing forward. It's game number 3. LGD are up 2-0. They could advance to the finals. The surrender vote. EDG have lost to LGD. Words cannot express how incredible LGD is playing right now.
Just look at their faces.
Oh my
Seda.
gosh.
That says it all.
There's the smile.
A team that was finished rank 1 through the regular season, barely lost a game. They have a track record that is positive against LGD of 19-5 before this best of 5 series. Well, LGD had something to say about that.
Yeah, now it's 19-8 in favor of, well, still EDG. But with this team play from LGD, they will advance to the finals of the LPL Summer Split. You can see them shaking hands. Imp, finally a bit of a smile on that guy's lips. He was taking it so seriously this whole time. He did not die in that last game. I think over the span of 3 games, he died a grand total of 4 times.
Imp played unbelievably well. Every member of LGD played their part. Even in that last team composition, having the dive styles, the execution was on point. Their team fighting just looks unbeatable. And even if they go through shaky early games like they did in game 1 and 2, they still bring it back.
There it is. That's the happy guy we were expecting.
He's all smiles now.
Yeah, I mean, LGD, this team, this is a team that I think a month ago, wasn't even qualified for playoffs. They were in 10th place in the standings and managed to climb all the way up to, I believe it was 5th by the time the split ended, before climbing non-stop every team that they face looks like tissue paper, and they are just torn to shreds by this imp.
LGD as a whole side, imp in particular, 2 MVP performances in a row.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if that wasn't the third.
Exactly.
They just took out EDG in the semi-finals, 3-0.
Oh my gosh.
That's ridiculous.
That is amazing. LGD are playing out of their mind. 3-0. EDG, they're not done quite yet. They will go to the 3rd, 4th place match, which will take place tomorrow. But, I mean, just playing against it, EDG, they looked like a completely different team against LGD.
And you might say it comes down to the practice that LGD have had also. They've played 2 best-of-5 series. They look like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, well, we're going to break it down with our analysts right now. Pastry Time and Frost.